Hello everyone, welcome to this video. Today we're going to be just starting to create a very basic Java program, and what we're going to do in this program is to create a Celsius to Fahrenheit conversion program. And what I've done so far is just really set up a starting point for our code, and I wrote 2 lines of comment. We're going to be creating a Celsius to Fahrenheit program, and then we're going to use this formula of taking whatever temperature of Celsius we have and running these operations will allow us to convert that temperature in Celsius to Fahrenheit. So let's get started. For this program, what we want to do is take the a user input of a temperature in Celsius and then do some processing or arithmetic to convert that to Fahrenheit and output that to the console. So the first thing we're going to do is get our input ready. To do so, we're going to be using and importing a class called scanner. So we're going to go import Java util scanner. And the important thing here is that we need this so that we can create a scanner object in our code. And just to note, the scanner has to be capitalized because Java programming is case sensitive and the scanner class is capitalized like so. Since we have imported scanner, what I want to do now is create a scanner object in my public static void main to help us get started and actually run some method that the scanner class has so that we can read data from the console. So here I want to just create a scanner object. That's why we're going to start with the scanner. Once again, is case sensitive, so we're going to have S capitalized. I like to call SC. You can call it anything you like a reader, for example, but the choice is yours. And at this point, we're going to say we're going to create a new scanner and with a input of system.in. And this is going to allow us to create a scanner that uses system.in to help us out. All right, now we have a scanner object, we have our scanner class imported. Now we can use methods that belongs to scanner class so that we can get a user input, and let's assign that to a string variable called user underscore input, and that's going to be assigned to the value of next line like so. And then we should give a prompt to the user to give them some sort of an instruction of what to enter. So we're going to say enter the temperature in Celsius. All right, so right now we have written 3 lines of code inside our public static void main. On line number 8, we've created a scanner object from the scanner class that we have imported so that we can use the methods that belong to scanner. In line number 10, we're writing something called a prompt. We're prompting the user an instruction of what to be inputting in our program when we do run. And on line 11, when the user does input something in the console, we are able to grab that text data as a string and assign it to a variable called user input. And let's just put another system.println here just to show you what gets outputted, and I will put the variable user input to see what they have inputted. So let's run this code. It's going to take a little while, and I've forgotten the semicolon. That does happen, so we're going to just run it again. And we're going to see the prompt called enter the temperature in Celsius, and our program is currently waiting for the user input. So if I put 32, nothing special happens. It's just going to output the value of the variable, but as you can see, we were able to grab that value. Okay, so right for now, I'm just going to comment this out and go along with our code. So we're going to say that this was our input section. Okay. Now we want to do some processing. We want to apply this formula so that whenever we get a user input, we can actually use the formula on it so that we can calculate the given Fahrenheit. So this is going to go under a section called processing. Okay, so for our processing section, what I want to do first is convert our user input, which is a string type data, into some sort of a numeric data, like either an integer or a double. In this scenario, because we're doing some multiplication by a fraction and adding 32, I'm going to switch it to a double, but if you switch it to an integer, that is okay for the purposes of just practicing programming, but I've personally thought converting to a double made more sense. So let's actually create a double base variable, and we're just going to say we have a double base temp for temperature, and we're going to set that equal to, we're going to use a typecasting method from the double class, and this one's capitalized, and we're going to say parse double to get a end user input like so. And what we're doing here is that we're grabbing this variable that has the user inputted as a string of text. And then we're hoping that they have given us some numeric value so that we can convert it into a double data and we can actually assign it to our variable called temp. So here, just to see that it's working and double checking that it's working, what we're going to do is just instead of outputting user input now, I want to see what the temp would look like. So running our program, if I were to give it 32, and we get now 32.0, we have successfully converted a value of 32 to 32.0 from a string of 32 to a double of 32. Now, when you run this program, you will run into an execution error if you give a value that is non-numeric based. So please do be careful with that. We'll learn how to handle those situations later on in our future lessons. But for now, we're just going to assume that the user is going to input proper values. Since we now have this temperature all set up, I'm now going to create another variable that's going to contain the Fahrenheit conversion. So we're going to say double is equal to Fahrenheit and we're going to translate this formula. So we're going to take our current temperature and multiply it by 9 divided by 5. And then after that, we're going to add 32. Java is going to follow order of operation, and we have actually really forced order of operation in here. Just to be safe, since we're working with doubles, I'm going to convert all my values, my terms and values into a double so that it may not get confused and we can avoid mistakes for the future. All right, so we have now converted temp into a double, which was taken from user input, and now we have applied that value, which is a Celsius value, into our formula so that we may convert the inputted Celsius temperature into a Fahrenheit temperature. And then we can put in a little output of the converted temperature is, and then we're going to do a little plus symbol. We're going to concatenate the value of Fahrenheit like that. We're going to call upon the variable that we created, and let's see how this program runs. Okay, just to test, if we were to give it 0, we should be getting 32 Fahrenheit back. So we'll give it value of 0, and the converted temperature is 32 degrees. And there you have it. This was our very basic program that takes advantage of having a user input. We learned how to convert a string-based user input into a double-based data type, and we were able to use those double-based variables so that we can do calculations to convert from a Celsius temperature into a Fahrenheit temperature. All right. So I hope that you use this videos for your future questions that you work on related to basics with Java. But as always, thank you for watching and stay classy.